Hello and a very warm welcome to Daily Dispatch, a show that gives you all the latest news and updates from the digital ecosystem. I'm Priya Sheth, and let's look at the top news headlines that we've been tracking this evening. First up, we have Google, which has completed its $2.1 billion acquisition of fitness gadget maker Fitbit. This comes amid antitrust concerns. Now, Google has clarified the intent of its purchase and said that this acquisition has always been about the devices and not about the data. Well, moving on to the second headline of the day, reports suggest that UBS Group is in talks to invest $400 million in Vijay Shekhar Sharma's Paytm. To remember that in its last round of funding in 2019, Paytm was valued at $16 billion. Now, what we do understand and what reports are suggesting is that Paytm isn't raising any new capital as part of this deal. James Murdoch and media veteran Uday Shankar have joined hands to form a new venture that will operate in the media and technology space in emerging markets. The name of the venture and the strategy are yet to be disclosed, but reports suggest that this venture could operate in the digital media space. Well, early stage investment firm Let's Venture has launched its revenue based growth capital firm N plus 1 Capital. It has received a nod from the markets regulator SEBI to raise $100 million. The aim of this fund is to provide 100 plus entrepreneurs $1 million each to grow their business profitably and sustainably. Well, moving on to the final headline of the day, IdeaForge, a drone startup founded by IIT Mumbai alumni, has bagged a $20 million contract from the Indian Army for delivery of high-altitude variant products, Switch UAVs. IdeaForge will be supplying an undisclosed amount of this product, that's the Switch UAV, to the Indian Army for a period of 1 year.
Well, moving on to our second segment, we have with us a prominent face from the food tech industry. I have with me Mr. Sahil Jain from Dine Out. Thank you very much for joining us today on Your Story TV. I wanted to begin by asking you how the last 9 months have been, because as soon as the lockdown was announced, restaurants were shut, businesses were shut, and for Dine Out, that was a big chunk of your business. How has it been, in fact, the recovery, if you can give us some estimate?
Yeah. Hey, hi, Priya. Good to be on the show. Obviously, it's been a hard, 9 months, especially from a restaurant industry perspective. When COVID set in, I think the first 4 months were practically zero, right? Because the restaurants had completely shut down and business was down to zero. However, for us, the good thing was that, we're not just a B2C sort of business, right? We've got a B2C part of business, which is Dine Out. And then we've got a B2B business, which is in Resto, where we give the restaurant partners a lot of technology, right, to manage their operations, their CRM, their loyalty programs, the POS, and so on and so forth, right? And that is where, COVID sort of, gave us an opportunity where we realized that the world has changed and restaurant needs to get more, sort of tech savvy in terms of managing their operations. And we sort of, came out with a new product called contactless dining, right? Which we realize is the future, where people do not need to touch physical menus inside the restaurant, where restaurants, users can just go in and scan their QR code, check out the menu in a digital format, just the way that you check out at home on a Swiggy or Zomato, and place their orders with minimum human sort of interaction, right? And that is something that we launched in the month of April, right after the pandemic set in, and we got like record sales in the next couple of months, where we onboarded more than 5,000 plus restaurant partners on the contactless dining platform, right? Which was huge. And this was incoming demand because restaurateurs realized that, technology is the future and they need to adopt it sooner rather than later, right? So, the what has changed in the last 9 months is that before COVID, we had to push technology to restaurant partners, but now restaurant partners want technology, right? So what we imagine will happen 2 years later or 3 years later is happening right now, right?
So, what has been the road to recovery? How much of the business has recovered from post-COVID level at this point in time?
So right now it's close to about 70%. So we are back to 70% of pre-COVID dining out levels. And it's varying city to city, right? So for example, Delhi would be back to almost 90%. I think the fear of God in Delhi has disappeared from people's mind. But when you go down to Bangalore or Mumbai, it is around 50, 55, 60%. But an all India average is coming out to about 70%. So north is doing much better than, let's say, west or south. West is, just coming up because, there were maximum restrictions when it came to Maharashtra, Gujarat, so very state specific stuff. But having said that, post November, the growth has been fantastic, right? So, I mean, till September, I would say everything was practically zero. So, within a span of 3 months, which is October, November, December, it has gone from 0 to 70%, right? So, it's been pretty sort of awesome to see the growth come back and, restaurants be back in business. And our expectation is that by March, we should be back to 100% or of, what we were pre-COVID. So, that's the current sort of growth trajectory we're seeing on the dining outside.
So in 2021, I wanted to understand what kind of targets are you working with? If you can share some numbers with us.
So, see, 2021 has obviously gone back into rebuilding and getting back into, the groove of whatever was lost in the first 6 months of the year. And we are hoping to end the year, which is 2021, March 2021, on a high. Because, as I said, we're expecting 100% recovery in the month of March. And going into 2022, the FY 2022, we expect to sort of double, everything, right? From our revenues to our payments business to our subscription business to our technology business, right? That's our target, right? Because we definitely see a huge growth opportunity from where we are at today. And we would want to grow both our B2C side business, which is Dine Out, and our B2B side business, which is Inresto. In fact, for Inresto, which is our B2B product, we are seeing a lot of international demand as well. And we're looking to expand the B2B vertical into other regions, especially the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, the MENA region, effectively in a big way going into next year.
So in absolute numbers by FY22, what will revenue stand out? What is your projection?
We project to be at least 2.5x of what we are today. So getting back to our original sort of FY 20 numbers, which would be 100 crores plus, is what we would effectively sort of look at, and that's the revenue run rate that we would project for next year.
What about funding? I do understand that you had raised some money about 2 years ago. Is there appetite for more funds at this point in time?
Absolutely. See, there's never a bad time to not raise money, right? So, so we would obviously want to raise that money, because from a growth perspective, it's extremely important that you have that in your bank to scale up business. Because, like I said, right, dining out is a huge sort of opportunity in India and even internationally, like I said, from a B2B perspective. And there are almost about 400, 500 million dining out instances happening even today as we speak in India, and we are barely capturing the tip of the iceberg there. So we see a massive 10-20x growth from here in the immediate future, and we would want to sort of capitalize on that. And obviously a higher amount of funding helps us sort of grow faster in a shorter period of time, which is what we would want to sort of achieve. Because see, dining out is still about 65-70% of the overall GMV generated by the F&B industry. So despite the growth in delivery and all of that, delivery is still only about 20-25% of the overall F&B market, right? Dining out still gets the higher share of GMV.
And just a final question, will you look into getting into delivery? That's what a lot of
No,
businesses
I
have
think
done
I
at this
think with
point.
the billions of dollars pouring in with Swiggy, Zomato, and now Amazon entering, and Uber Eats also having been acquired, I don't think there's an opportunity to have a fourth or a fifth player, and you'll always be lagging on that front from an aggregator perspective. And our thought process has never been like that. We've always believed that we want to be a technology partner to the restaurant when it comes to delivery, and that is what we've sort of scaled up during the pandemic, like I said, right, where we're giving them their own solutions through which they can drive direct deliveries. And we've done integrations with the likes of Google, Instagram, etc., where restaurants get the opportunity to own their own delivery channel, where they pay zero commissions, right? So their link is live on a Google search or on Instagram, and they can drive their own marketing. And even if, let's say, about 10-20% of those orders, right, start coming through their direct channel rather than through aggregators, then on those 20% orders, at least they're saving the complete commission, right, which is a huge win from a restaurant's perspective. And that is what our aim is with our technology solutions that we're giving to our restaurant partners.
All right. On that note, many thanks for joining us today. It's always a pleasure speaking with you. Good luck for the future, and we'll be watching out for your move very closely.
Thank
With
you.
that, it's a wrap on this very special show. Thank you so much for watching.
With that, it's a wrap on a very special show, Daily Dispatch. Thank you for making the first week so successful, and thank you for all the love. I'll see you again on Monday at the same time, 5 p.m. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button that you see below. Goodbye and see you next week.